It up a little bit. So, right off the heart, the first thing you're going to see are the, if we look at this side, you see the aorta right here. There's still kind of a lot of connective tissue here. But coming off of that aorta, right, the aortic arch here, you have the brachiocephalic trunk. Right? So if you follow that brachiocephalic trunk out, this is where it would split into right subclavian, right common carotid, right in there. So you see how I'm tugging on it, and it's tugging on this right here. Right, so that's the right common carotid, and then your left common carotid, right there.
Thanks, dude.
All right, I'll see ya. So right there, right common carotid, left common carotid, and then the right subclavian is under all of this. But that would be the third one again that branches off of the brachiocephalic trunk. Now you can kind of see it right there, right?
Oh, yeah.
So there's the right subclavian. As it exits the rib cage, it becomes the right axillary, right? Which is kind of again buried here. Probably need to separate this out a little bit. And then as it makes its way into the brachium, this is where you have your brachial artery.
Can you see, like, is there a clear point at which it becomes the brachial artery? Instead of axillary, or is it just kind of...
The clearest point is once you know that you're pretty much in this area,
okay. So
because you're in the brachium, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's literally named by the region that it's passing through. And so that's what you would go by. As far as the vein, same thing. Brachial vein, axillary vein, right subclavian, very brief right here as it comes into the rib cage, and then brachiocephalic vein. And the two brachiocephalics then drain into the superior vena cava. As far as the external jugular, or the jugulars going up, becoming external and internal, that's where you want to see the pictures on the board. Now, once we drain into that superior vena cava, from here, I'm going to need you to do some digging here. Bring these lungs over towards the left. Right back there, you see the azygous vein.
And is that's not cat specific, right?
No, humans have this too.
Okay.
So this is going to drain all of the intercostal veins that you're seeing here.
Okay.
They'll drain into that azygous. The azygous then drains into the superior vena cava. Right, and the vena cava, the superior vena cava drains into the right atrium.
Okay.
Now if you push the lungs to the left, just so we can get a kind of an opposite view, here you see the thoracic aorta, right there, the big vessel, like that.
The
right
deep
there.
one, right?
Yeah. Look at it, I'm kind of popping out. So it's pretty big. I couldn't show you the cadavers today because they we're using them for practicals next door. But otherwise, you would have got a really good sense of what that would have been. Next time I'll bring those out just so you can see them. Now, as far as the last branch that we have here, we have our left subclavian. Right? So coming off of the aorta here, you do have that left subclavian artery. This guy then just exits, becomes the axillary, and then brachial.
Okay.
If we go down to the abdomen, if we go to the abdomen here, you have your, if we start with the arteries, you would have your celiac trunk first, and then the superior mesenteric, and they're pretty much together here. You should see some separation. I don't see the superior mesenteric very clearly here. Where is it?
So
Can
the
you bring-
superior mesenteric branches off the celiac trunk?
No, it would be a separate branch. So it looks like they're right there. Go ahead and hold that back. Looks like it's in there. It'll be clear. You normally see the celiac trunk here going straight up, and then the superior mesenteric coming off at an angle going towards the small intestines. You see how I tug on this and I pull this?
Yeah.
Right, that's the superior mesenteric.
Okay.
Right? So again, they're adjacent to each other, forming kind of a V-shaped structure. Right? Celiac trunk first, superior mesenteric second. The celiac trunk is going to supply the splenic, the left gastric, and the hepatic arteries, which then supply these three organs. Right? The superior mesenteric again is going to supply the mesenteric arteries within the small intestine, supplying the small intestine. As you continue to make your way down, the next branch off of the abdominal aorta is going to be the renal artery, which you see right there, supplying the kidney. Right? Continuing down from there, you guys have a male cat, so then you would see your gonadal artery and vein. You can get a good sense of the artery here. Right? And of course, that's going to exit here and make its way down to the testes. So that one is a little bit hard to see here, but there it is. Right? Coming off of that abdominal aorta. And then finally, the last major branch that you're going to see here, as we lift the colon, you'll notice the inferior mesenteric. Right? Inferior mesenteric, coming off of the abdominal aorta, supplying the colon. And then from there, you have the deep. You're going to have to maybe do some cleaning here if you can. But here, the abdominal aorta would split into external and internal iliac arteries. Right? The more superficial ones are going to be the external, like the one you could see there. Right? If we follow that external iliac artery out, eventually that gives rise to the femoral artery. If we follow the veins, yeah.
Are those really tiny ones up on the board that you have drawn that aren't labeled yet?
Those would be the internal iliacs.
Okay.
Right, so those are even deeper here. I can't even see it right there. There's a connective tissue there. Oh, wait. No, I don't see it. Right there, you barely, yeah, you barely see it right there. You see it? So here's the external. Right. And as I go deep, right there is the internal.
Okay.
Very small.
Yeah.
So if you follow the veins back, here's your great saphenous. Great saphenous vein, draining into the femoral vein. The femoral vein, as it goes back into the abdominal cavity. Again, this is going to be hard to see because we're going to go back to this region. The femoral vein drains into the external iliac vein. Coming from deep, you have an internal iliac vein. Right? So they form this junction. Those two drain into the common iliac vein, which that one now should be a little more visible.
But the artery, there isn't a common iliac?
Not in cats. And in humans, it would have that same anatomy as the picture of the veins there. But what you see here where the probe is, that's the common iliac vein.
The deep one, right?
Yeah, that big blue vessel that's right there. That's going to be that guy. So you have a left common iliac and a right common iliac. They come together, and they eventually drain into the inferior vena cava. And then the only other branches that you have here is the right spermatic vein, draining directly into the vena cava.
Male only.
Yeah, male.
Well, so what's that on a female?
Ovarian.
And we'll need to know.
Or generally you can say gonadal.
Oh, so you can just say
You
that.
could say gonadal, you wouldn't be wrong. Here on the left side though, it's a little bit different. Right, the left gonadal, in this case the left spermatic, instead of draining into the vena cava, will actually drain into the left renal first. Right? And then the renal vein then drains into the inferior vena cava. Right? And so again, here's the right one, draining there. And here's the left one, draining here.
Do cats not have two kidneys?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, but it
You
just doesn't
didn't
drain into
expose the
kidney
other
on
one.
the other side.
Yeah, not on the other side. And it doesn't drain into the kidney, it drains into
Meets
the
up
renal
with- yeah,
vein,
yeah.
right?
Okay.
Because this blood that's in the renal vein has already
Leaving.
come out of the
Come out of
kidney,
it.
right?
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.